All right, Ryan. Hard Knocks. Final episode in the books. This one was a rough one. It's all about the cuts, who made the team, who didn't. We also got a fun appearance from Eminem. I said last time that the last episode hit you in the feels. This one definitely hit you in the feels when it was dealing with certain players that we liked getting cut, certain players that were on the line but made it. Obviously, the success of certain rookies that made the jump, like Malcolm Rodriguez and obviously Aiden Hutchinson. But this one was... I don't know about for you, but for me, this one was a rough one, dealing with all the cuts and everything.
I thought it was the best episode of Hard Knocks that we've gotten so far. We had the cuts. We knew a lot of the cuts just from following the team. Of course, we didn't get to see the conversations until the episode aired. But a lot of guys that we thought were going to be cut, a lot of them ended up coming back on the practice squad anyway. So even though it was rough to see them cut, you knew there was a quote-unquote happy ending for them because they're still getting paid, however much it is to be on the practice squad, which is still a pretty handsome paycheck. So it was kind of tough to feel bad for some of those guys knowing that they were just, right back at it. They probably didn't even have to leave Detroit after they ended up getting cut. So I think that took a little bit of the sting out of it. And I love the part with Eminem. I wished it was a little bit longer, but that was funny to me. Big fan of his music, and when he does spots like this, I think it allows like his humor to show out too, and I enjoy that part of it. Other than that, I think that was kind of it. It was cool seeing like Deuce Staley deciding which running back he was going to cut, and they're saying, no, this guy can do this guy can do this, and this, and so I think more so than the cuts themselves being interesting, just hearing the coaches kind of talk through their process with some of their players is what I took most out of this episode, and it's what I came away with being the most interested in.
Yeah, the Eminem part was funny, where he's talking about, playing with your boys, and then you get on a field and you throw it as hard as you can, and it goes like 10 yards. That was pretty good. I was surprised with all the running back stuff that we didn't see a lick of Justin Jackson. I didn't show nothing. It was Godwin. It was Craig Reynolds. Like, there was nothing even mentioned about Justin Jackson and the whole situation with him, being let go, but then being put on the practice squad that we know now, obviously. But the fact that it wasn't even shown, we didn't even see him, they didn't even talk to him, talk about him, nothing like that. A lot of focus on, the guys that we have been seeing a bunch of. Obviously, they talked about Blau and Boyle. You saw Boyle getting cut. And then Blau was discussed, but they didn't show him being released. It was just kind of awfully mentioned when they were talking about they're going to need a quarterback because Blau was picked up by Minnesota, which was really funny when, Dan Campbell's, giving his morning speech to the guys, talking about, what's next and everything. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, hey, Nate.
Dude, he
here's
literally
Nate
looked
Sudfeld
like
in the
he
front
came,
row, like right in front of you. He didn't even know he was already there.
He had his jacket on and everything. Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah.
Let him buy a house first or something.
No, definitely. And then the pimp stuff. I was really, because I didn't know. I don't know about you, but I didn't know that Pimp got picked up for the practice squad with the New York Giants. And so I had no idea until Hard Knocks obviously showed it to us, showing him trying, doing running routes and all that, dropping the first few passes that went his way, and then starting to kind of get comfortable and making the catches. And I honestly thought it might have been an editing scheme, where like we're going to show a few drops and make it look like it's in the beginning. But then the coach that was talking to him was like, that perseverance of dropping the first few and then just kept coming back and, pushing through, and bam, here's a contract, you're signing with the New York Giants. So I was happy for Pimp that this ended up being a good thing for him, where he's not just out of football.
It was cool to see, and I knew he got picked up by the Giants, but I didn't know that Hard Knocks was going to show it. I thought they were just going to stick on the Lions. So that's the part I did appreciate, was them following Pimpleton and Blau around to their new homes, essentially, and giving the viewers closure on those guys who they had been watching all series long, and if they just stuck on the Lions, it's like, oh, well, now they're gone. Like a Game of Thrones character who got killed or something. But getting that follow-up, and in Pimpleton's case, getting a happy ending. I guess in Blau, too, but they focused, obviously, more on Pimpleton. And it was cool to see him picked up, and I actually do think that him being on Hard Knocks helped the Giants get some more exposure to him. And, they could see his speed, they could see what he was able to do, which led them, in my opinion, to invite him to work out in the first place. And then, he took advantage of that and made their practice squad and is going to continue his NFL dream. But I did appreciate that they did some follow-up on some of the guys that were cut who they had been following throughout the 5 or 6 episodes that we got.
Yeah, and it was cool to see the strong character that Pimp turns out to be, or at least what we've seen is, when he's talking to his sister, on FaceTime from the hotel room after it's all been said and done, and she's like, "Mom already told me." He's like, "I know," and he wasn't he wasn't devastated, he wasn't salty, he wasn't sour. He took it for what it was, and he was appreciative of it. Talking about being able to play in Pittsburgh, at the Steelers Stadium, how cool that was. Just everything about it was it was very uplifting and showed the kind of guy that I think he is, at least, and what he's being portrayed as, and I hope that's who he is the kind of guy you would want in your locker room. His head is up and he's looking forward, and I appreciate that about him, and that was shown throughout, and it was shown even after he was let go.
Yeah, and I'm rooting for him. There's certainly no reason not to. So I hope he's able to make the I hope he's able to make the roster with the Giants over there. And then shout out to Chase Lucas too. I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention during the other episodes, but I liked his story a lot. I wish they would have focused on him sooner.
I mean, you're making me root for a Sun Devil, which is never okay for me, but I definitely like what I'm seeing from Chase Lucas, obviously with the almost game-clinching interception in the first preseason game, to recovering the onside kick in the second game against the Colts to help seal the win. No, not the Colts. Sorry, the onside kick against Pittsburgh to keep the ball and keep moving, because why not? It was just him pushing forward, and him, that internal feeling of thinking he's about to be great, and his own coaches are like, "Well, I ain't gonna say that."
He kept saying that, "Coach, I really feel like I'm about to be great. I really feel like I'm about to be great." And credit to the coaches, they did their best to try and keep him humble. Like what you just said, hey, you can be, but you got to keep working. And every time he was saying, "I think I'm about to be something special," they're like, "Well, I didn't say that, but." But you got an opportunity now to take advantage of it. Mm-hmm. So, that I liked too. I liked how the coaches were picking up some of the guys. I liked Hank Fraley talking to Obina Eze, who got cut and then is now back on the practice squad with the Lions. Just about, hey, you need to keep doing this, and still coaching them. They probably knew nobody was going to claim him and that they'd get him back on the practice squad, I guess. But to see them still coaching them after they essentially don't have a reason to anymore, if they're just going to cut him, that was cool to me. And I think it's one of the benefits that the Lions have of having basically an all former player staff, is these guys are just a little bit more connected to the players and to the feelings, especially on cut day, than some of these other coaches might be, who would just kind of grinded through being a coordinator or whatever.
Yeah, and obviously seeing how hard it is for Dan Campbell, for Aaron Glenn, for Deuce, for Brad Holmes, of the having to do this, it's humanizing, and it's nice to see that this isn't just a part of the job for them. This is something they don't look forward to. You can see it on Dan Campbell's face, how much it hurts to let go some of the, that has to be so rough. I don't envy that, the part of the position at all. The WTF moment of this entire season, I think, for Hard Knocks, but definitely this final episode, is Malcolm Rodriguez going cowboy boot, hat, clothing shopping in downtown Detroit. Where is that store? How is that store?
I don't know. We had that store in Detroit. It might have said it and I missed it. I do believe there is a shop in downtown Birmingham that is leather, cowboy hide and leather or whatever. Because I thought I've seen it before, and I was like, that's just a weird thing. That's a weird store to have in Michigan. Apparently it's just going to come into use. And it looks like all this stuff's really expensive. He was getting moose boots and alpaca vests. I didn't understand. I didn't understand what was going on, but shout out to Rodrigo for expressing himself, staying true to himself.
Okay. I don't know about moose. They definitely do ostrich and gator and snakeskin. I know that for sure. I don't know about moose boots. And then even on top of that, there's a country song playing, and the country song is like, I'm a Detroit cowboy.
You know
like,
how,
I was like,
how
wait,
deep they probably had to
what?
go to like, find that one? Like, you could have played I'm a Cowboy Baby or something. Or Save a Horse Riding. Like, you could have played any of those songs.
Right? They found a Detroit cowboy song. And I don't even think it was
I didn't
Kid
think it was
Rock,
either.
so,
I thought it was at first.
Props to them for going that
Like,
deep
what the
to find that.
Whatever, they made it work. Shout out to them.
And Rodriguez talking about like trying to buy jeans and like his only problem is like getting him over his like quads and hamstrings is how big they're. This fool comes out with like they look like XXL jeans, but on him they look like skinny jeans. They so tight on his legs.
Yeah, I don't know, man. As long as you start playing on Sunday, and I know we're going to get to the Lions in a little bit, so I guess spoiler for that discussion. Apparently, he's going to be a pretty big part of the defense on Sunday, from what I saw on Twitter today.
Well, let's get to it. I was going to make more jokes about him, like, don't wear cowboy boots with shorts. Like, they were showing him, like, trying on cowboy boots, and he had shorts on. And it's just like, that is just an all-time ridiculous look. There's a reason these guys wear, like, jeans with their cowboy boots, because that is just funny as hell to see a guy in cowboy boots and shorts on. But, yeah, let's get to the Lions. I think we've talked Hard Knocks to death. The series is done. It was a hell of a success in my mind. I thought they were 5 great episodes.
Hey, Ryan Griffin here. Thank you so much for watching today's episode of Griffin and Bass. Be sure to give us your thoughts in the comments below. Remember to click the bell to receive the latest notifications from DSN, and subscribe for breaking news, community blogs, polls, contests, and other content.